No, but also
Anyway, I'm gonna sit this one out.
Test.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So delighted to see you, and if you want to come forward, there's not a lot of chairs here, but it'd be easier to see and hear. Thank you so much for joining us in the overcast Oregon drizzly morning.
You and I took it.
We're grateful for the rain.
Turns out right.
Sunshine, perfect day. The river is roaring, and here we are celebrating the river by the riverfront. So I really am delighted to see you all here. And I am going to begin this with a formal land acknowledgement. Since time immemorial, the Kalapuya people have been the indigenous stewards to our region, building dynamic communities, maintaining balance with wildlife, and enacting sustainable land practices. This land acknowledgement is a way of resisting the erasure of indigenous histories and to honor Native communities by inviting truth and reconciliation. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, Kalapuya people were dispossessed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government and forcibly removed to the Coast Reservation in Western Oregon. As we consider the impacts of colonization, we also acknowledge the strength and resiliency of displaced indigenous people. The City of Eugene is built within the traditional homelands known as Kalapuya Ilihi. Kalapuya descendants are citizens of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde Community of Oregon and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians of Oregon. They continue to make contributions in our community here and across the lands. We express our respect for the inherent political sovereignty of all federally recognized tribal nations and indigenous people who live in the state of Oregon and across the nation. And as we acknowledge the indigenous community are part of Eugene today, I encourage you to take in the fence art that faces towards the river, depicting faces of present-day Kalapuya youth and elders. This is an exciting time to be mayor of Eugene. Yesterday we celebrated the grand opening of the new Farmers Market Pavilion and Plaza, and as we celebrate today's park opening, I can't help but feel excited for the thousands of people who will enjoy both incredible new amenities this weekend and this summer, and for generations to come. It brings me joy to see our downtown reconnected to the beautiful Willamette River. This park is a legacy that Eugenians will have wanted for decades, and here it is. So, there is so much to be said and shared about this project, so for now, I'll share one more woohoo! And introduce our Parks and Open Space Director, Craig Carnegie.
All right, good morning and welcome everyone. It's grand opening day of a very special new park alongside this very special river. It's an honor and privilege to be up here because beyond my professional role with the city today is personal for me as it is for many of you. This Willamette River means so much to us and our entire community. It's been the lifeblood for Eugene from the city's inception, and the lifeblood of all the people such as the Kalapuya who lived along its banks for thousands of years before Eugene was established. When I first came to Eugene as a 19-year-old U of O student, I rode my bike up and down the river path. I remember thinking how amazing it was to be beside this river, and what an amazing community Eugene was to have established the parks and paths alongside it, protecting this river for everyone to enjoy. One area that did stand out to me back then as needing some TLC was this very property. The transition from riding along a green leafy riverbank to chain link fences, asphalt, and industrial buildings was a bit stark. But we all know that those buildings are part of what provided power and water to the city, and we're grateful for that. But this site was cut off from access to the river, and especially from downtown. So decades ago, people got together and started to plan to reconnect the city to this section of the river. Today is the day we see the results of this effort. You're going to hear more about the park planning and design process in a moment. Right now, I just want to acknowledge that this public riverfront park is for everyone in the Eugene community. We honor the past and look toward a brighter future for this river and everyone who lives here. You did it, Eugene. Today is a huge legacy milestone towards making our community a better place to live, work, and play. So congratulations. And now we want to recognize some of the folks involved with developing and supporting this project. There are so many people who have contributed to this project. Many residents and stakeholders, city staff from parks, planning and community development, engineering, city attorney's office, private contractors. I'm not going to be able to name everyone, but I'm going to start with our mayor, Mayor Venice, thank you so much, as well as our previous mayor, Kitty Piercy. I want to thank the city council and previous councilors as well for all their support. Our city manager, who has played a number of different roles throughout the year in support of this work as a planning and community development director, assistant city manager, public works director, and now obviously city manager. I don't know if John Reese is here or not, but I want to give a shout out to him, previous city manager. And I want to thank EWEB for their leadership, our sister agency EWEB for their leadership and their staff partnership and contribution to making this project successful. I also want to honor Kirk Corey, our previous public works director, who passed away in 2017, but he was instrumental in getting together the city staff that started to work on this project many years ago. Matt Rodriguez, our current public works director and previous city engineer, certainly did a lot of work on this project as well. I want to acknowledge the crew that will be caring for this place moving forward. Operations staff, Josiah and Jeff and Heidi, and there's a number of folks that will be taking care of this place. Our park safety team, including our park ambassadors, our park resource officers, and our new park host, who will be here welcoming folks on most days here. Stacy, where is Stacy, if you wouldn't mind? Yeah, Stacy will be down here to meet you. Is going to recognize the folks who worked on the design and construction side of this project. But first, I'd like to recognize her. Emily has been a true champion for this park and the whole park system from the start. She's an exceptional landscape architect and project manager for the city. I've always been amazed at how many balls she can keep going on in the air and working on so many different projects, including this one. Her vision and tenacity to get this park built is really one of the main reasons that we're here today. And so I just want to give my deep appreciation to Emily. And with that, I'll round of applause.
Thank you, Craig, and thank you all for being here today. I have notes, and there are many pages. A huge welcome to everyone here this morning. We're again standing here today where the river meets the city, and the city meets the river at the east end of 5th Avenue, overlooking our beautiful Willamette. It's just short of a year since we met here last to then celebrate a fabulous commitment from our state legislature to add $5 million in funding for the next phase of this new project. On that day, I spoke about the many stories and histories that have played out on this spot along the Willamette River over time. and those yet to come in the future. I have dozens of stories from the last 4.5 years about how we got here today. But what feels right for now is one of incredible gratitude to everyone who's had a part in making this happen and happen right. While I won't be able to list every person who's worked on this legacy park development over time, I do know that there are hundreds of people across this community, this state, and the Pacific Northwest who have worked on this project for maybe just a few hours or perhaps hundreds of hours to make this day a reality. Throughout the pandemic, the Downtown Riverfront Park project has helped so many people retain jobs in construction, inspection, permitting, consulting, fabrication, design, and art in an enduring collective effort to bring this park to reality by today. So let's start big. First, a huge gratitude, as Craig mentioned, to the citizens of Eugene, who wholeheartedly supported and engaged with teams of designers and planners to shape a vision of what they wanted to see and experience as our community re-engaged the Willamette River as a source of life, natural beauty, and tranquility through the heart of Eugene. Thousands of Eugenians have come to meetings, they've taken surveys, they've joined committees and focus group and volunteered their time and contributed to shaping the vision for the riverfront in myriads of ways over the last 15 years. So next, to EWEB. For the vision and collaboration they set in motion with a memorandum of understanding with the city back in 2010 to sell 3 acres of riverfront property to the City of Eugene Parks for $1 in exchange for $3 million in dedicated funds for park construction. Their commitment solidified plans for a vibrant, future, mixed-use neighborhood fronted by a 3-acre riverfront park for everyone. Fast forward to 2017, and Parks was directed to lead design and construction of a world-class riverfront park with completion scheduled for the summer of 2021, when we would welcome the world for the Track and Field World Championships. 4.5 years later, and 1 pandemic later, we're here now in 2022 and ready to welcome the world in just a few short weeks. As with all great projects, the Downtown Riverfront Park has been funded from multiple sources, including Downtown Riverfront Urban Renewal Funds, Public Works, Transportation, Stormwater, and Park Funds, and the 2018 Parks and Recreation Bond Measure. As we move from park completion to park opening, our Eugene Parks and Recreation Levy will fund critical staffing, materials, and supplies to maintain this park as safe and welcoming into the future. Thank you, voters. And then, as Craig noted, big thank yous go to City Council, city executives, and our mayor, all of whom embraced a vision and said yes several times over prior to 2019. John Reese, Sarah Maderi, Matt Rodriguez, and Denny Bro remained steady champions of the project throughout, expanding understandings of the work and how we'd get there. Craig Carnegie, Carolyn Burke, Mike Kinnison, and Isaac Marquez provided mentorship, support, and leadership through many challenging budget, planning, and artistic decisions. Carrie Peterson provided me courage and an ear and a knowing that she'd always be there. Jeff Perry and I schemed over Portland Blues together for way too long. Emily Jerome jumped us over a mid-project planning hurdle. Kristen Denmark is our legal hero and has permanent regal status. From here, there are all the people who put their expertise forward into the giant 3-dimensional puzzle that has resulted in this newly shaped place. First, our design consultant team, Walker Macy Landscape Architecture and Planning out of Portland, Oregon, Chelsea McCann, Laura Rose, Nicholas Busking, and our consultant, who was really here most of the time until just recently, Nathan Kappen. So, KPFF Civil Engineering and Structural Engineering, Interfluid for our river engineering, Two-Form Architecture for these beautiful shade structures, PBS Geotechnical Engineering, Mal Foster Alangi for environmental consulting, PAE and Luma for electrical and lighting design. Come see this place at night, it's magical. Land Arc Associates for irrigation design. Ellen Tenenty at Cogito, who reached deep into the community for us. Alta Planning and Design for transportation analysis along this bike path. George Kramer was our historian. Heritage Research helped us with archaeology and historic preservation. DCW cost estimators, which is a brilliant secret science. Susan Maver at Public, who helped us figure out stories and interpretation here. Jill Anholt, our project public artist and the visionary designer of this iconic artwork right above us, Sub Supra, as well as other integrated artwork into the park. And Vicki Krohn-Amoros, our wonderful local writer, for assistance with final text edits on many of these interpreted pieces. Then there's the city implementation team. People who've been on the ground, in the field, in offices, in conference rooms, on Zoom, every day, making this happen for over 2 years. And if I don't list you, you're still a trusted and beloved colleague forever. Spencer Crawford was our lead on-site inspector. And this place, yes, give it up. This place, he knows every detail. If you want to ask him where a piece of rebar is, just ask him, because he knows, or he has a picture of it. But he's a phenomenal partner in making this place a reality. Kate Wilson, our deputy project manager, wow, like all the information, all the scheduling, all the details, keeping me on track, just fantastic. Thank you, Kate. Andrea Brown is our construction lead from engineering, making sure we're following the rules, darn it. Lauren Berry from facilities, providing his wisdom and expertise in project management, fundamental to giving me the courage to say yes and this and that. It was fantastic. Ed Fredette kept the dirt out of the river. Ryan Nasselman kept us talking with EWEB and sending messages. Pamela Bowers and Lindsay Smith-Ramsey and Lori Holtz were all really important to providing additional inspection and project management on site. Rex Redmond drew us some maps and helped pinch hit. Doug Singer said, yeah, we're going to do this, Proudfoot. Melissa Bateman helped pay the bills. Alyssa Gavette made this all happen and helped me with the media over the last forever. And Paul Gordon took extraordinary drone pictures throughout the project. Our construction contractors, and this really wouldn't be here without them. Please give it up for Brown Contracting, Adam Hughes. Pat Green Landscape and Irrigation, A2 Custom Steel Fabrication. Every piece of metal you see out here, maybe except for the light fixtures, A2. Oregon Electric Group, all the electrical and lighting. Again, come here at night, it's gorgeous. Brothers Plumbing, FEI Testing and Inspection, and CEI Coatings, they painted everything. Everything. We can call them for touch-up paint. Art Fabrication, wow. Fabrication Specialties, fabricated the Sub Supra piece just above you. Rhinemuth Bronze, Steve Rhinemuth from Rhinemuth Bronze, right here in Eugene, has worked on all of the interpretive work and the bronze work that you see on site today, and you will see more coming as the summer moves on. Matt Group certainly was contributing to that effort. And then a huge thank you to our culture-raising artists from the Art City Collective, TJ, our photographer, Charlie Swing, and Greg Brown. Okay, I mean the list is never done, but this one's list, okay. So then our Downtown Riverfront city colleagues. So outside of the park, there's like 7 other projects happening on this site at the same time, and we meet regularly to talk about that. So over time, Scott Gillespie and Mike Cook on the infrastructure project, Lynn Klein, legal conversations, Katie Marwitz, Railroad Quiet Zone, Jared Abbott, all things riverfront coordination, Amanda Noble, Queen, Amanda D'Souza, Steam Plant, Will Dowdy, Community Development, Stephanie Scaffa, Queen, Colette Ramirez, Riverfront Festival, It's Common People, Kate Ali, Public Art Coordinator, incredibly helpful, Maurizio Metallico, Finance, yes, Tim Westerman, also Finance, Brian Richardson, Communications, Dylan Huber-Hydorn, also all things Riverfront, and many other things, amazing. And Kendra Hostetler in planning, and everyone in planning who helped us get permits and all kinds of things, and special inspections requirements. Wow. And then Mark Cosmos and Philip Richardson, my wonderful colleagues in park planning, who just helped support and waited and were patient and just were there for us. It's awesome. So, among and within these long lists are now forever colleagues and friends, people that have moved on from this work since, and those who are new and here to see more work happen on the downtown riverfront over the coming years. We have so many inside jokes about the project that we could probably write a joke book that would sell well for Frog, but only to us. Throughout, we've approached incredible problems with good minds, good humor, and open hearts, and built relationships that will serve all of us for many years to come, even through a pandemic. Personally, I'm incredibly grateful to those at the city who entrusted me to lead this work for our Parks Division in collaboration with almost every other department in the city. I've learned so much along the way about myself and how to be the best person, professional I know how to be, and I'm most certainly a different person than when I started. Last and most importantly, my family has been my rock. My parents, George and Fanny. My parents, George and Fanny, gave me a love of landscape, science, and art that I will always cherish, and I love their interest in my work. And I wouldn't be here without Josh, Grace, and Ivy's enduring love and support. The three of you are my everything. And the best part of this story is we get to keep going. So, more bronze interpretive artwork is scheduled for installation throughout this summer. And the planning for the next phase of this project, which is a 1-acre public plaza right on the humpy lawn over there, has begun. We'll have a public open house on June 23rd to kick it off at the newly renovated Campbell Center in Skinnerview Park. Please come for this next chapter. We'd love to see you again and talk more about how to continue and expand our collective vision for this growing new neighborhood and public space on the banks of the Willamette. And with that, and here to move us one step closer to ribbon cutting, I'm pleased to pass the mic to our stellar city manager, Sarah Maderi.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vegas. Thank you, counselors like these are the moments that we'll all look back on and just know this is why we have to pull together as a community to do great things. Emily's words and Craig's words remind me of what I'm probably the most proud about at the moment is that we have created this incredible culture of gratitude inside of the city organization and teamwork. And all of that and all of the gratitude for all of you is just so right here today, and I love that. I'm a landscape architect, and becoming a city manager is not typically the route that you would take. And so this moment for me, being in a place like this, is a good example of why it makes sense to me and why Eugene is the perfect city. If you want to be a landscape architect and a city manager, you want to do it in Eugene, in a place we love our outdoors, we love our natural places, and we love our community. So it's really perfect for that. What drew me to landscape architecture was really the intersection of people and place. I was really fascinated about the natural systems and humans and how we come together to enjoy them. And I can't think of another place in Eugene that the people have wanted to be at more than this right here. That connection of downtown to the river, or as we called on staff, the Willamette to Willamette connection, how do you actually get from downtown to here is done. And I think taking a moment to just say we did it when people thought it was impossible, we did it, you did it. There's a lot of things I've looked at this week. I was thinking about all the things in this community that we've done that seemed impossible. Hendricks Park kind of seemed impossible. Spencer Butte. This community came together during really difficult times, donated $5 a piece when we made Spencer Butte happen. The Holt Center. The Holt Center was like big city production before we were a big city. It's just an incredible thing, and this Riverfront Park falls right into line with that. And so I hope that, and the farmers market if you hadn't had a chance to get there. So right now in this moment, I just want you all to take stock that in 100 years, people are going to look back and say, who were the leaders that got that done? And they're sitting right here and they're standing right here. And I'm just really, really proud of all of us for doing this together. And I also point to the steam plant because that's the next impossible thing. It's impossible and we have to do it. I mean, look at this. We're never going to get another structure like this on a river like this, and we only have a little bit of time to save it, and so we'll all have to be all in on that. So I think this park is going to be, actually the most beautiful moments are going to happen individually in quiet times when you're here by yourselves or with just a few family members. But it's also going to be rocking when there's a big party, and we're going to have a lot of big parties starting this weekend, so I hope you come back. And then on July 15th, when the World Championships are here, and a lot of energy will be happening at Hayward Field. This will be the only totally free party in Eugene where you can watch the event live. It's amazing. It's going to be an incredible spot to be for 10 days, and I hope you'll all come back. With that, I think we're ready to slice the ribbon. Don't get in the way of the scissors. I was at one of these yesterday with the mayor. She does not mess around when it comes to ribbon cutting. So let's go do it. Congratulations, everyone.
Okay, can everybody get real close together and grab the ribbon? There we go. Stand back. Okay, there's room on this side. Over here. Up. Okay. Y'all good, everybody? Okay, ready? Almost ready. Go for it. Maybe not that way.
I remember. Are you pretty excited? Your shelter's